The cutest thing ever. This will get you views on your channel. Oh my god, no, there you go. Oh, he's so handsome.
Another video will take 7 hours to edit because I make a lot of cuts. If it's funny. When I hand for slippers, I'd use my slipper help.
Oh, this tastes like piss. Majority of my day making and listening to music, so I don't have that free time to watch television that much. So,
I have too much free time.
I did, however, get a chance to watch the first 3 episodes of the show. Compared to the other ones that I've seen, I like it.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Have you heard of Raid Shadow Legends? Hey, wait, where are you going? Now, hold on. Hear me out. This ain't no meme. I'm not funny enough for those. Trust me when I say that I'm about to pitch you the best mobile game of all time, and I'll most certainly pitch it better than the last person you saw do it. Raid Shadow Legends now has over 600 champions. They all come from their own unique factions and history and lore of the world of Telleria. And of course, to get started, click the link down below and you can download Raid for free for mobile, iOS, Android, or PC. And this December month, Raid Shadow Legends bringing you the latest addition to its huge boss roster, and it's the biggest, baddest, and scariest yet. The new clan boss with 6 heads, the Hydra. This thing is the ultimate beast, a superpowered clan boss that's like many bosses rolled into one. Each of its 6 heads have different unique mechanics. It can share pain and push damage from itself onto your team. It could scare your champions away or rot them from the inside, create poison, and a ton of other crazy things. However, if you cut off its head and expose its neck, you will be home free. Be careful though, if you don't deal enough damage in time, it will grow back its head. It's like one gigantic puzzle and an entire boss fight. A little something for everyone. It's probably the hardest boss you will ever fight in the game yet. But don't give up, because if you defeat Hydra, you will be able to get some of the best artifacts lying around. I still can't seem to beat this one, but I'm having a great time trying to figure out the best strategy for said boss. What's also new in Raid this time is that the Raid is giving away a super limited edition champion to every player in the game. Some of you may recognize him already. It's esports legend Sample. Between now and January 28th, 2022, Sample limited edition champ is available for free to both new and old players in Raid. All you have to do is log in for 7 days between now and January 28th and he's yours. And if you miss a date, you miss out forever. Definitely don't wait around. There's no better time to get started with the game than now. Make sure you hit the link in the description or scan my QR code and you'll get my epic champion Tyrell, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 agent shard, so you can summon any awesome champion as soon as you boot up the game. Click your inbox in the top right corner where you can find all your rewards, and make sure to click them soon because the rewards will be available only for the next 30 days. And it's just that simple. Hop on the game by clicking the link in the description, download for your iOS, Android, mobile devices, or PC, and I'll see you guys in the game. Next stop, get a new iPhone, so I'm not playing the game through a cracked screen. I don't know, they'll like that.
I like it. I don't really know exactly, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what I enjoy about it, but there is something that I'm getting from it that I'm enjoying.
Well, I always thought it had more like depth and lore and like stuff that was thought out, like...
Yeah, so that's true. Everything, I do feel like everything does happen for a reason on the show, but I also think that, they aren't concerning themselves with, specifically when I'm talking in reference to, the actual Power Rangers themselves. They're not like, oh, let's try this, or ooh, what about the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they have more logic.
The leader's no, we need to alert people in the city and we need to tell everybody, or no, we need to train and we need to practice this.
And as far as I'm aware, no series have practiced the morphing sequence and messing it up and then they congratulate each other later. And then I haven't seen any one that are just like, you know what, let's just morph, we'll stay your secret, and let's just call the hotline. Just call our cell phone, and we'll let you know of a monster attack. Like, that's the most simple and hilarious. And the show, like, breaks the fourth wall sometimes. Like, fucking Zato was like, check out this attack, and Pink and Blue are like, okay. And he's spending all his time just being showy because it's Sentai footage, but he's just like, check this out, okay? So I don't know.
I think the only thing I don't like right now is that they haven't really defeated as many monsters.
Yeah,
they fought a lot of them, but they haven't necessarily defeated it.
Well,
spoilers, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're gonna spoil the story.
Yeah, so far, 3 episodes in. Spoiler. The monsters get destroyed, but then they come back to their original egg sack form. It's an egg sack.
That I don't mind. There's just I've just noticed that in the first few episodes, every single time a new Sporix births,
they grow before they're feeded once, kind of deal.
They leave.
They
leave. They just teleport away. It happened to like 3 of them already.
Yeah, the generals usually teleport away. They don't fight a whole lot usually, but the monsters never grow that quickly in any other show. They usually fight for a while.
No,
they explode and then they grow. But this one just goes, I'm gonna grow now. And
yeah, that is true.
You.
I did notice that. But the other thing I also really liked in regards to that is I liked the fact that the battles were faster. The bigger ones. They were a lot more.
Because in the Sentai after 2018, the sales were and ratings were so low that they're like, okay, we need to add drone shots and GoPro footage and speed up the footage or speed up the choreography. So that's why there's just massive running
really
and punching.
enjoy it. I actually really
instead of just literally all Megazord fights were literally just
my only
sock and boppers. Amelia's quirky.
How many times you went to the park ranger? 1, 2, 17 times. It's like, bro, you're not on a Disney Channel show.
She's on Nickelodeon.
You're on Nickelodeon.
At Hasbro and Massless New Zealand. Texas, eat your heart out. And then what about the villains and their design?
Shadow.
Yeah.
Or Void Knight. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
As a villain design, I think it's pretty cool.
I don't know.
I like Knight.
He's just.
We don't really know enough about him, and also his voice eerily does not sound like a monster. It sounds like a guy in his 20s.
Or he's stuck in a porta potty.
Or he listened to a lot of
voice filter.
He listened to a lot of. He's like, this Sporix is mine. I'm like,
I feel like he's just a tiny mouse in the armor controlling a body. That's why it's just so much echo. It's honestly, in my opinion, it's been the best premiere episode since RPM, and that's when Disney owned it. I like Dino Charge, but it had some rough parts because it's still under Saban. So now that Hasbro has complete control, I have faith that they will.
Turn it off, Jesus.
I'm Morph. What else? Yeah, I guess now we can show off all these cool goodies, I guess.
You didn't finish your final thoughts. You just stopped talking.
Yeah, I did. Anything else to say? Yeah, also I noticed since Supercharged, after episode 3 is when the show gets bad, it just focuses on some stupid moral filler that has nothing to do with anything. Filler is good to flesh out the characters, but they don't. They just flesh out a lesson for the kids at home.
Yeah,
and punches the adult fans in the face. So, and they've been doing that since the second season of Dino Charge. First one was fine. The second one, they stopped caring. So, after episode 3 of Beast Morphers and Ninja Steel is when they start to focus on environment, or make sure you're a better leader, which I guess is good for Brody, but who cares? After episode 3, they focused on still the main story. Zato and his 65 million year old alien friends and family are.
Yeah, they stuck with it.
There
was developments to the main story, but then also Ollie deliberately didn't follow directions and got the stuff anyway and put his mom in danger, and he was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
And then he went back to
Is there character development in a television show?
He went back to being an atheist when he pretended to be Amelia's boyfriend just to call out a psychic fraud, which I liked because it adds some realism to
the show.
Psychics are frauds. It's Morphin time! Dino Fury Key. Activate. Link to Morphin Grid. What up, guys? Welcome to another review / episode recap with SuperUnknownPerson and Rooty the cat. Because you guys are so positive on the last review, I decided to do another one. This time, me reviewing episodes 4 through 7. And I apologize for lack of uploads weekly, guys. I've been hard at work, as you can see. My 2 big videos coming up. I just need a little bit more time on the Blaze and Roxy video, so stay tuned for that. And also, the ultimate Power Ranger short film with a returning SuperUnknownPerson villain. Alright, let's get into the recap of episodes. Alright, so as I said before last review, when the first 3 episodes aired, and me and Nick talked about, the toy and the episodes, we overall thought it was really enjoyable. In my opinion, it was the first time in a while we've had such a consistent amount of good episodes in a row. Great characters, great storytelling, lore, connection to other seasons with involvement with the Morphin Masters and the Morphin Grid. All really solid stuff. And that leads us to episode 4, New Recruits. So this episode mainly involves a Green Ranger in terms of character building, and also features Black Ranger, but we don't really get to his character and his shtick with conflict in episodes until episode 7. So New Recruits features the first ever American Green female Ranger. We've had a couple in Japan before, but this is the first time they've ever had a female Green here in America, and gender bended from the Sentai. After the terrible infamous debate on YouTube and Twitter about whether the Green should have a skirt or not, the Green Ranger does something fantastic and says F you to all the misogynistic and sexist, stupid, toxic fans, rips that green skirt right off just when you think it can't get any better. When she goes to fight Henchman and Boom Tower, it does a slow-mo shot of the skirt blowing in the wind, and it's my all-time favorite shit of all time. So yeah, very fantastic episode. It features Izzy as kind of like the one-liner, teen of the 20th century, so she throws some lines like, "You and I, we're just vibing. Okay, boomer. Cringe." And stuff like that. And just on the real, I realize I'm more comfortable when I have a co-host. Soon I'm filming my new series that involves Dino Fury, but with a special twist. So I've been teasing it for a while, but I'm still gonna have you guys wait a little bit longer for the official reveal of said show. Fantastic episode, and also they apparently got a choreographer, a fight scene choreographer from the Disney seasons. And you can obviously tell because Izzy's doing all these fancy tricks with a saber and a javelin from her athletic team, spinning the saber around, throwing it up, hitting a tree, coming right back down, and just vibing. Winning attitude. And this episode features the first ever mention in, I think, a Power Ranger season, the Special Olympics. Has, leans more to, the moral lesson of the day that Power Rangers loves to lean on, and so usually they're hit or miss on how they execute it, but this one was a little bit better because it leaned on that, it's not always about winning in your passion if you morally aren't nicer to your colleagues or your friends. It basically just was trying to teach that, your heart has to be in the right place. Anyone can win gold, platinum, anything, anywhere. They could succeed anywhere, but it's how you do it is what really matters. So yeah, it wasn't the worst moral lesson I've seen. I've seen way worse in like the Neo Saban era and sometimes in Beast Morphers, but this one wasn't that bad. This episode was probably a little bit weaker than the others just because it was still kind of ridiculous that like Izzy's dad was so okay with her finishing last just because he was helping the competition. This rival girl who we'd never met just is a straight up bitch to Izzy, so it's pretty hilarious. So I would say it's about okay, but we got at least the debut of the Tiger Claw Zord, but still no sign of the Stegozord. Right, for that we go to episode 6, involving said Pink Ranger Amelia. Oh, and then here's a little side comparison to the wonderful Ryusoulken Memorial Edition versus the regular version. It's a Zenkaiger reference. Alright, so this episode involves around bad luck with Amelia, and a lot of people have been talking, I've been talking a lot to some Toku friends on Twitter, and everyone can agree that this episode probably was written based on the random shot at the end of this Resoldier episode where the Megazord just accidentally knocks over all this stuff and buildings, and then it knocked over this dump truck, and it caused this volcano monster to just get clogged up and stuff. So I think they wrote it all around that random part, which is really clever, you know, really taking the really weird shit from Ryusoldier into Sentai and turning it into something much bigger instead of just it coming out of nowhere like what they did in Super Mega Force, where they just dub over Sentai footage. Even the people that are speaking Japanese, they make them speak English, and they just do jump cuts. It's really, really weird. And overall, I'd say it was a pretty good episode. It seemed like, you know, like the bad luck kind of got to Amelia's head a little too much, but I mean, she was pretty bummed out that, you know, her morpher was damaged from the monster. And, you know, the bad luck thing, you know, it's been done to death in many shows, so it's a little bit cliche. But I thought it was a pretty good episode for her. And I did notice that they only had one circuit board left for a new morpher, so I wonder if that will come into play since we still haven't figured out what's going to happen with the Gold Ranger. It may happen episode 8, may not. I did see that preview clip with Mechanic, so we'll see if he shows up or we wait until the hiatus. He probably will show up in episode 8, knowing, you know, the past seasons we rush already to the 6th Ranger right before the hiatus, so guess we'll have to find out. And lastly, we have today's episode I just watched, which is Stego's Search. And yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was it's revealed that Javi is a musician. You know, he's not just the same pretty boy looking Chase like from Dino Charge. He actually has a difference in his personality, and he struggles with his dad, you know, not supporting the fact that he spends like over $900 on music. My roommate can relate on the music part. And I also noticed like my overacting, you know, it varies depending on who I'm with, but I think I'm like acting weird in this video because I've been watching a lot of Big Time Rush on Netflix. Not an ad. Just got the sound effect stuck in my head. What's interesting, I've had some people like complain about this episode that the only way to awaken his Zord is to play music, and that's what activated it. But I thought they kind of were like self-aware with that, because even Zolan said a really funny line when they said, you know, isn't that kind of convenient that the Zord's being activated by music, or like how is that possible? And Zolan just said, don't question it, just play, you know. So I thought they were, you know, they probably could have done a little bit better to be self-aware about it, but the fact that they threw that line at all makes it a little less like cheesy, I would say. So overall, I would give it a, you know, give the episode a good 10 spikes out of 10. Sudden interruption. I almost forgot to mention, I'm recording this like a week later. I needed to mention the awesome unmorph fights in episode 7. You know, we've really been itching for an unmorph fight for a long time. We haven't had one since like, I don't know, maybe 3 episodes of Beast Morphers. Wasn't a whole lot. So I'm really happy that Dino Fury finally got their slice of unmorph fights sequences. I guess I just forgot to mention it in my review because I spend most of my videos unmorphed. For now. Alright, back to the past. All right, so that only leaves one more episode before the hiatus, because that's tradition is not changing anytime soon, I guess. It's something to do with Nickelodeon. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little recap. Oops. Dino Fury Power! Alright, it's been a while since I did my last Dino Fury episode review, and they seem to be doing pretty well, so I'll just continue doing them. So, the last episode I reviewed was technically episode 8, but it was on a live stream that was also a Q&A. It was like a hybrid, so you can check it out right here. But I figured I would give it a proper review, so I'll do episodes 8 through 11. And that also is a better choice because it's a lot better than, well, the other number combination. Yeah. So episode 8 is titled Unexpected Guest, and it features the return of Mechanic from Ninja Steel. And just like me with a bunch of other fans, we reacted with, uh-oh, yay, Ninja Steel, my favorite. Unlike Dino Charge, Megaforce, Ninja Steel, this episode brought more lore answers than questions, with the introduction of the Nexus Prism showing Zato the memories of it being created by the Morphin Masters, and also showing the Dino Gems from Dino Thunder and the Enter Gems from Dino Charge also being created by the Morphin Masters. And the Morphin Masters also overseen many other battles. They're the Power Ranger gods. I know they were mentioned in Mighty Morphin, but this is like the first time they're, you know, being fully explained, other than showing them making the Rangers in episode 1 of Dino Fury. So yeah, honestly, after so many years, it's so nice to finally get more explanations to how this lore became to be when you're not looking at the comics. And that's really the highlight of the episode, is just finding out like all those answers and questions that we've been asking for a long time that are finally answered. So I'm very happy we got to that point. I guess it's just because it's a different showrunner than what we had the previous years. Yeah, shout out to Simon Bennett. He's been an amazing person in general with the show, and he's been very active on Twitter, answering so many unanswered questions like this episode is answering here. So yeah, he's really cool. If you ever have a question on production, how they handle Sentai footage, really, you could just tweet at him. It's pretty cool how responsive he is, and very informative of how this show works. So yeah, honestly, it was a really fantastic episode for starting the hiatus. Now what I mean by putting quotes around it is that we got episode 9, 10, 11, as you've heard, on Netflix earlier than Nickelodeon, which is really nice because Power Rangers really needed a streaming place, because it's been so annoying, not having cable, waiting so long to get the episodes, or just finding clips online. So it's just finally nice to find a legit way to watch them. Now only Toei can do that with their Super Sentai stuff. So when we got episodes 9, 10, and 11, and I binged them all at once because that's just the way I'm at. And yeah, Cutoff was a little bit more of a filler, I would say, because it had to do with the Rangers tease oily. Oh yeah, it's really just focused on the Blue Ranger bringing all of these uncamp-like gadgets to camping, and really taking away the fun, nature-filled glory of camping. So that was just kind of a thing that he learned, but also all of his gadgets really helped deal with Void Knight's weird contraption to prevent them from morphing, I think. And then we also get some great, Sentai footage in the woods that was never been used before, with the Green and Black Ranger showing off their really cool Tiger Fury and Stego Fury strike attacks. So yeah, that's really cool. I really enjoyed seeing that Soldier footage, but put to good use. I've always really enjoyed when they use Sentai footage in a very unique and cool way, or just seeing it just really work with the scene. So yeah, I really enjoy that. And then some great original footage with great choreography, because I think they got a Disney Power Ranger era choreographer for the fight scenes for this season, so that they've really been hyped up, and now they like match the choreo that the Sentai footage uses. So the swordplay looks good on either type if you see this footage switch or not, or you just don't know anything about Sentai. Sentai scene switching and why, you know, sometimes it looks good or bad or darker or brighter, you know. I can go on a whole video on that, but anyway. So yeah, it was a pretty solid episode. And then Phoning Home, probably my favorite of the entire season because it focuses on Zato. Apparently, learning that someone from his home planet survived and has come back to talk about how there's still life. But it turns out it's actually just a new monster in disguise named Slither. He's a great villain. It was a great reveal that he was finally found out, but it took Solon to be very suspicious with her / robot self to find out that everything is not what it seems. So it was a pretty good Zato Zolon episode, one of my favorites. And they started using, I noticed, more Resoldier footage roll calls. So instead of like Red Ranger posing like this, something like this, he did his Resoldier pose, and honestly, it kind of works. He did it. It felt a little more night themed, so he just did it like that. And then the other Rangers did it too. You know, like Green Ranger does the left hand backhanded grip. Pink Ranger just does that. Black Ranger does that. Blue Ranger does this. I did like that Void Knight was like, yeah, I get it, roll call. They're very self-aware with these with these episodes, which I'd really enjoy. And then the last episode for our Netflix treat that we got was episode 11, McScary Manor, and it was an Amelia focus episode, and it was really good because it focused on how she was trying to hunt for a ghost, but then she found this mummy-like tomb monster, and it mobilized and like messed up every Ranger's personality to the point where she was the one that ended up using the Blaze armor, which is the first time they had a different Ranger, as opposed to Sentai footage, debut a new armor. Because in the Sentai, they used the fire mode, but it was connected to some kid that was kidnapped, and he was, Japanese, so they had to cut out that footage because, they don't, own the rights to any actors that are not in suit, I guess, usually, except that one part when Super Mega Force dubbed over a lady with trash. So, yeah, can't all be winners. And yeah, it was really good. It had some great original footage, had a great little firefight scene. It was really funny seeing the characters act out of character, and my favorite is when Not Chase said, "We're so good at posing," when he's like in his sad mode. So yeah, it was honestly some pretty solid 3 episodes out of Netflix, along with episode 8 that we got at the very end. But like I said, I wanted 8 through 11 to have a proper review, because like I said, sorry, my phone, let me mute that. So anyway, no word of when the next episode is going to air. They did do a preview during the Hasbro Pulse live stream of episode 12, but no word on when it's going to come out, because I think they still have to air the Nickelodeon episodes first, and then maybe we'll get the Netflix early again. But I'm just really happy to have it on Netflix this early instead of waiting an entire year. So honestly, it's fantastic to get that news, and maybe we'll get all of season 2 streaming on weekly or bi-weekly or something, just like they said they would do. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to more episodes. I'm enjoying literally it's like 11 out of 20 episodes, or 22, how many there's airing this year. It's been really solid. So halfway done through the season, it's been really good, and it's some of the best Power Rangers we've had in a long time, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to more, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll keep reviewing it if you guys want me to keep doing it. It seems like I'm getting pretty good response. My cat is attacking toys, so I hope you enjoyed his calm and collected laying down. Now he's in crazy mode.
Your hair! What are you?
Power Ranger?
That's a big boner!
No, please don't, no.
Suffer mode.
No. My hair looks so good. Before we keep going, if you guys have not seen the previous 11 episodes, look up here in the corner. I gave a very half-assed review of the last ones. Super Hot Shot. Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest, it was okay. Not because of the Power Rangers themselves, I just didn't like the coach character. She just came off really annoying.
Which, I mean,
none of you are getting your money back.
Which I think it was the intention, but...
Hey, nobody's told you this, but you're like the best one here.
Really, me?
I do appreciate that the show is breaking the mold of previous Power Rangers that I've seen, where the fights aren't concluding by the all the way.
Yeah,
like the fact that they didn't even they
destroyed.
tried to fight Slither, and the fact that Slither got away not once but 3 times. I thought that was really good.
And the it was like a fish monster. To be fair, I thought that...
Oh, the clam monster, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a clam that they saved for the next episode. I honestly thought because the coach was being such a bitch that she was a monster, but no, she was just...
No, she was just a bitch. Just
honestly, though, it is accurate to some gyms. I mean,
you want to talk about it?
I actually had an encounter with...
You won't say the gym.
A meeting with a...
We'll just say that...
Am I allowed to say that?
The name of the gym correlates to something in this image.
He was interesting. I mean, he had his own custom damaged red Obi-Wan lightsaber he showed me to distract me from that I was signed up for a $2,000 trainer deal at a gym. So I felt real to home in this episode. But as for the main story, it's whatever. It's just a little development for Izzy, which we get plenty of later in the season. But I thought it was a good lesson. It was kind of funny how gullible Zato was to the gym. But
I do also
he broke the...
I do also think it was. I also do think it was a good showcase of Izzy's true personality and how generous that she actually is as a person, because she ends up giving the lessons away for free instead of charging and being like, "Give me your watch."
Yeah.
The next episode's The Matchmaker. Ooh, I hate to sound based, but no, the episode is fucking great. The episode is great.
And luckily, there's still actual fans that supported it, and then there was the fucking people who I can't even.
We'll put it like this. Basically, in layman's terms, in this episode of The Matchmaker, Javi is trying to hook Izzy up with this guy named Andre?
I think Andre, but here it is if I forget.
It's right here in front of my face. You see Izzy with this girl named Fern early in the episode, and they're training together, and then Fern says that she doesn't date boys, which then says, oh, Fern's a lesbian. Which then implies, oh, so that means Izzy must be a lesbian, because the way that Izzy acts around the other guy, she's like, no, I'm not interested. And then by the end of the episode, you see her and Fern holding hands. And they're not making out. They're not on top of each other. They're just holding hands. Like, the fact that just that alone pissed so many people off. First of all, grow the hell up. This is 2021. This is a normal thing. And as a gay man myself, I found the representation to be nice for a change. The fact that they weren't in your face about it, and it was a normal thing that we do.
It felt realistic because Javi, he kept saying, oh man, she's acting different. Like, are you wearing perfume? And then he actually confused her, like, oh, you probably just like one of the guys in the friend group. And then when he finally figured out the truth, he apologized. And I don't know, it just felt like a real thing because, if you're not, when this issue of, coming out, and they don't come out, then people assume, and then they make mistakes like that. So I thought it was, from what I've seen, for the first ever representation of the show,
I agree.
Is a very accurate representation.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I also what I really appreciated about it was even the fact that there weren't people that were like, ew, lesbians? Or like, oh my god, you're a lesbian? Everybody went with it.
If they would have negative reactions in the episode, then it would be written by Riverdale writers. Then it would be a, actual conflict that would be unnecessary and dragged out to the point of
to the point where it goes for a whole season, and
we're supposed to be fighting Boy Night.
To the point where it goes for a whole season, and then by the end, it's not even satisfying.
You realize you wasted your brain cells on this show.
Exactly. 14's Old Foes. This is the one where Ollie goes through the haunted maze.
Oh yeah.
This is where that one dude
from just anything, watching this episode may not mean to a lot of people, but to, you know, like along Mighty Morphin fans, they rock about Lord Zed, and he wasn't destroyed in like one episode. They're planting the scenes for season 2, and I know why they brought Lord Zed back. I know you were asking about that. It's because this whole show's theme is pretty much kind of like the subtle origins of every power of the Power Rangers, because not really any season really explained what the morphing grid, you know, what's the connections, how they're created, and why is there like other dimensions like Dino Charge and RPM. This show is, because of the rumors, I don't know if it's still not confirmed, because of the rumors this being the last Sentai adapted before they do the movie reboot, they wanted to go back to the basics and just connect everything, and that's why literally the morphing call is linked to the morphing grid, because they want to connect everything. So they figured, why not bring Power Rangers' most iconic and original villain that wasn't from the G-Ranger Sentai, Lord Zed. And I thought it was an interesting way to bring him back. It was just necromancy from a monster, a weird Romanian accent monster. The voice is a little weird on Lord Zed, because he'd sound nothing like that in the original. I know they couldn't get the I don't think the voice actor's even alive anymore of Lord Zed. But the reason why it's weird is that the voice actor that's voicing Lord Zed is the same one as Evox or Venjix, which is this. He was like one of the best visions of the Disney eras. He just has a very robotic voice, but when you hear it on Lord Zed, I don't know if it fits. Like I guess I don't know why they chose to do that. Maybe they just, you know, going down the line, I'm like, oh, you're fine. Well, one thing I gotta mention before I forget is when I was rewatching it with you. You know, like the plot is not going to be as deep as like many Sentais I've seen, but one thing I really do like is the comedy is really funny. Like the past 10 season have been just forced down your throat, but this show can get like really funny at times. Like they poke fun at, I mean, they do their normal puns, but like they just feel more like natural. The Rangers like kind of poke fun at each other. They also poke fun at like the many Power Ranger tropes, like, oh, they always grow, or I hope they have insurance when like a fucking building or a car blows up.
Because my issue with past seasons is they say these jokes, and it's like say it's like a rock monster, time to rock and roll, and then you can it's pretty much, you have like the cast going, get it? We made a pun. That's the joke. Whereas this one, yeah, they're making puns, but as you were saying, other members are like, yeah, that was weak, that was cringy, yeah, don't.
Yeah, they play with it, like they give you a wink. Are not just like accidental cringe. Like they know what they're doing, so they, you know, throw you a bone. They don't, you know, they know that this is cheesy and ridiculous, so we're gonna have fun with it. It's not just gonna be a very confusing season. The problem with Halloween episodes in the past is they always have to do a clip show, because, you know, like some seasons have like budget episodes to keep filming down. So what they do for the Halloween and Christmas, they always do like clip shows to go pass on it. But compared to the other clip shows they've had in the past, I mean, there was still meat and potatoes to this episode. There was actual, you know, fight scene. You know, Blue Ranger got a little bit of development with him not being scared of Halloween.
Yeah, my only thing that kind of made me go, what, is when Solon goes, who wants a hell drop? And then she throws it, and they just stand there.
Yeah.
I thought I would have at least thought that the wolf monster would, I don't know, hit it out of the way. But no, he just went.
I think that snout is pretty heavy for him to move at all. I mean, he fell for it twice. But also, they also stand when they morph. And then, like, when monsters do stuff, then the Rangers kind of, you know, do the same. So it's, like, honorable respect to just be like, no, go on. Yeah, good. Pose, do it. Oh, we're so good at posing.
Storm Surge. This one was good. I liked this one a lot.
Yeah, and surprisingly, it's another, like, Blue Ranger and Black Ranger development, but then also plants a little bit of seeds for Gold Ranger and the mysterious, like, tension he has between Zato and Ion. Yeah, I thought I was pretty good. I'm still a little annoyed that they keep falling for Slither's tricks, especially since now the voice actor is straight up just being the disguise and sounding just like Slither. So, I mean, I know that's the whole point of his character, is that he keeps going to throw him off. But I don't know why the Rangers can't, like, figure out, like, wait a minute, who gave us this laptop until it's too late?
Yeah, I do like the fact that, because that laptop came pretty conveniently.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, now you guys are clicking with it.
I don't care, it's the best bottle.
And I know I'm coming on a very bad cop in this video, but I'm also just going back and thinking about it. There's a lot of episodes where Ollie is learning a lesson. Like,
there was quite a lot.
You would think that after a few of these episodes, his character would improve, but he keeps doing shit like this. Like, he's very much like, egocentric, and he very much is acting in his favor.
But
Like the laptop, this episode's a great example because there's a scene where Javi and Ollie are having an interview, and the whole time Ollie's just doing math to figure out how many gumballs fit in the machine, and it's like, dude, I get it, but you're like, you would think that at this point him and Javi are like somewhat close,
yeah,
and that he would respect Javi enough to do the interview.
I think they do that just because they know the character is an asshole, so they really like expose all of his flaws for the whole season.
Yeah,
And
I guess.
I just don't know. Like, I hope they don't. I think they did it enough for this season.
Yeah, I'm hoping that by season 2 they're not doing more episodes. They're like, look, Ollie's an asshole. Here's how we're gonna make him better.
Because
here's another way he's an asshole.
He even became like, jumping ahead a bit, he became like one of the saving heroes in the finale, because he was the only one that wasn't captured. So I think they did enough for what Blue Ranger had to do. Of course, we're not done with them because there's still more episodes. But yeah, we planted a Gold Ranger seed, and now we have ancient history. And it's a little bit weird controversy with this episode. I read on Twitter from the director that he legally cannot have conflict with the Rangers for more than one episode for unknown reasons. Or at least unknown reason to us.
But that's right, we talked about that on our streams, which, by the way, you guys should totally watch our streaming channel. We're currently streaming Far Cry 6. We've talked about it multiple times on the channel. If you guys want to hear us talk more about this Power Ranger content in general, as well as behind-the-scenes stuff, our own opinions on other stuff outside of Power Rangers, we talk about it on our streaming channel.
So twitch.tv/SuperUnknownPerson. And if you miss any stream, you can also go to sub streams for the archives.
Great segue.
And you do those more often.
I felt the need I had to do that. I have to be shameless.
There is a plot point where apparently Zato is responsible for allowing his people in Rafcon to create the Sporix Beast as a defense mechanism, but Ian saw through that and said that that was actually a horrible idea and that they're too dangerous. And so they fight, and then it turns out the Sporix wiped out their whole civilization. So there's quite a lot of, like, I don't know, weights on Zato. And then, the Rangers get pretty peeved about that. And honestly, I mean, it's a pretty understandable conflict that at first when I watched episode the first time, I was like, I still feel like the Rangers being a little too mean about him. But at the same time, if they're being put through all these fights and then they realize the culprit is literally sitting right by them, you act out in rage. You're not justified. You're just like, man, fuck this guy, whoever has been putting us through this crap, or just a guy that wants to revive his wife.
Yeah, this was another episode where I've watched this one. I think I watched this one a couple times.
Yeah, watch it.
Once out of order, and then I saw it again when I watched through the whole season. And honestly, I think what this episode did well is to just show that the Red Ranger knows what the fuck he's doing. Because the thing with Ion is Ion kept saying, I should be the leader, so then he does stuff, and then of course he gets them in trouble, and everyone's like, you're the leader, what do we do? And he's like,
He got too cocky and he almost got the Zords. And well, they almost got the Zords.
And another way that shows
Some
that
type of water
Zato
Zord.
knows what he's doing is even he goes, we need to get out of here. Yeah, the Zords are destroyed, but we will be safe.
Yeah.
And sometimes admitting your own faults is part of being a good leader, and I think that was good.
And it's poetic that they had to escape the Megazord twice, just like the old Rangers that they used to work with. That unfortunately they passed when Gold survived. So it was a nice little parallel, I noticed.
Oh yeah.
And then we got this. And then we got this.
They fought.
They fought
Not
this.
Megazord,
They fought this robot who just kind of came and gone. If you've seen the Sentai, he's a little bit.
What was the
bigger.
Sporks Beast? It was the pirate guy.
It wasn't a sports beast. It was just one of another robot general, which we'll probably see in season 2.
The pirate guy.
His name was Shipwreck or Wreckmate, and he was just a pirate. There wasn't much to him, but
the fight scene was cool because you could tell that it was
really
you could
cool.
tell that it was a soundstage with water effects over it. But I still appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah, there's not many
It was
Sentai
practical.
scenes where you see that. Like that was a really nice practical.
Also,
set.
I just like the Mosasaurus in general. I think it's a cool dinosaur.
Yeah, I don't think we've had. And in the other 3 Dino seasons, we had Mosasaurus with at least the main Rangers. Maybe as an auxiliary, but not a main. So it's very unique. Unlike having a T-Rex 4 times in a row. Neither is Massive.
This is
our hero.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of this. I don't really have many words for this episode.
Yeah, this is pretty much Gold's filler. I mean, he kind of, from what I remember, it's just kind of he's letting the hero-ness get to his head, which I do get. The only thing that didn't make sense is that he he took him on the offer of getting like free ice cream or an extra amount of ice cream for like ever or whatever because he saved the guy.
Yeah.
And Javi's like, no, that's wrong. You can't take that offer. That's mean. Like, what if I run out of ice cream? But I mean, I guess that's would have been a viable answer, but he didn't give anything. It was just like, how dare you?
Yeah, I think the whole point of it was being a hero doesn't mean you're doing it for accolades. You do it out of the kindness of your own heart.
Yeah.
Like you're not just, you didn't save the ice cream cart guy because you wanted to get a reward out of it. You did it because it was the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And so by Ion taking that reward, he just spat on his own character and his own honor because he's just saying, oh yeah, no, I meant to do that. Give me free ice cream. Where Javi's like, no, we did it because it was the correct thing to do and we're nice people.
It's just when they already spell out so many obvious things, it's weird when they don't spell out that lesson enough, like, or at least in like the correct way. And that's,
well, they did, and they ended up doing it when out of everybody, he was the only ranger that showed up to the thing because he wanted to be honored. He wanted to be rewarded and showered in praise, where the other ones are just doing it because they want to help people and they're trying to be nice about it. They're not expecting a reward. They're not expecting praise.
And I could have sworn Slither fooled him again in like another.
Bro, if we had to take a shot every time Slither fooled a ranger, we would die.
But shout out to the voice actor. He's probably having a blast with this role.
Oh no, Slither is a great character. The guy who
he literally said like curses. He said quadruple curses. Like, he said it 4 fucking times after he, like, a new thing he got foiled. Like, he's just having so much fun with this goofy bishop.
Yeah, I even like the fact that he telegraphs all of his moves.
Yeah, and whether it helps him or hurts him, the first time he did it...
100% hurts him, because if the Rangers actually listen, they'd be able to counter him, but they don't.
When Red Ranger did it, he went slash, dodge. And then he kicks the henchman at noble sacrifice and then fucking hits him in the face. So he's a fun villain. He hasn't really done like much things for himself. He just kind of just is the fuck around villain. And
he's a lot better than Mucus. So.
And he is still alive, and so is Mucus by the end of this season.
Well, yeah, they're just in the thing, right? The wormhole or whatever.
No, they got out of it and got to the Christmas episode when he drew himself, and they got.
That's right.
So he's still around. They just they haven't dealt with him.
Anyway. 18 cross wires. This is another super. This was a definite 100% a filler episode.
Yeah, it was a green and blue, where green
was trying to impress her girlfriend by saying that she knew what she was doing, but she didn't. And but this also, I think what this episode did a good job of showing is how people have different ways of learning, or at least people have an easier time with different approaches to learning.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know that, like, with professional psychologists, there's no such thing as a visual learner, or a kinetic learner, or an oral learner. Like, they're not real learning styles. But what I do believe that they are is those are different ways that make learning a new topic a lot easier to approach. Like, for example, for myself, I have a much easier time learning something when I'm doing it myself, when I'm hands-on doing it. Mm-hmm. I see the action and then I do it. I have a lot easier time with that than just reading instructions.
I'm a very more of an auditory learner. If I just hear... Actually, no, if all they told me to take out the flux capacitor, I would have fucked over the team as well, because I don't know the flux.
Because that was the main conflict, was the fact that there was this sleeping machine, and Blue expected Izzy to know what she was doing because she said she was going to ace the electronics test, and she didn't. So Ollie sat down with her and gave her a visual guide on how to do it, and it ended up saving their asses. So I felt in that aspect the episode shined, but other than that, the episode was just like not the best.
That's one thing I've always been back and forth on, is that the biggest problem with more like late Chip Lynn era seasons is that the filler B plot took precedent over the A plot in terms of importance, but they still expect you to remember the A plot, and that started being a problem since Dino Supercharge around like the mid season of that.
I need to finish that.
Yeah, I mean, there's still good attributes but the best part of that season is the A plot. Is the stuff with Silver, with Heckle, with the Dark Engine, all that. That's what I remember. That's why I made videos on it. What I don't remember is during the Silver Doomwing Energem plot was they're doing a fucking singing contest for the new NZ group. That was going on while Doomwing was fucking shit up. Like, I don't give a shit about that. It has nothing to do with it.
Cinnamon?
Yeah, that too. That was like episode 14, and I was like, dude, this is what we're coming back to. I don't know what is the deal with that, but like this is just a segue, like, or a tangent, because if it's weird is if you compare that to like Samurai and Megaforce, yeah, they're bad or mediocre, but they still had more plot going on because they're either just copying the Sentai or they're just making up their own A-plot nonsense, but that's it. Which is hard though, because then if they're only doing A-plot, then they're not doing any development for the characters, and then they're very shallow. So when Dino Charge came along, they had a good like case
balance.
Because they had a plot of finding 10 Energems, and that kept them going. There was something to look forward to every episode, with the filler having the exact same time they're finding the Energems. So that's good combined shit. But the problem with that is, the end by season 1, they found 8 out of 10. So they only had 2 Energems left. So what did the writers do? Fell asleep, because they just like made like these fillers more important than like a dark Energem that can fucking destroy the fucking earth, and it did. So
I'm pretty passionate.
And then when Hasbro bought the series, it was still Saban that had it.
Yeah.
So there were still filler episodes that pissed me off, and then I'm always like, I'm back forward about that because I'm like, does it piss me off because the filler sucks and never see it again, or do I don't like the characters? I don't know, because when I see filler and Down to Fury, it doesn't bother me as much, but I don't know if it's because I like the characters or it's written better. And I thought because when Down to Fury came out is when Saban was completely lost ties to it, because by season 2 of Beast Morphers, Saban's name is removed from the top and it's just all Hasbro. So I felt like now they're not held back by the old traditions of what Power Rangers used to be, and then the writers can, maybe it's not even the writer's fault, maybe it is Saban. That there is no confirmation, this is all just theory and it's all just out of respect. It's just shit that, you know, in the end, anyone could just say, I'm bitching over a kid's show, but then that kind of undermines all the adults fans, and it's just kind of a paradox argument. Either way, the Dino Fury filler still doesn't bother me as much. Now, there was a lot of Blue Ranger love that I'm not fond about, because he just, you know, he's the asshole.
Yeah, the only justification I see for that is he's the most
flawed,
broken one out of all of them, because you have Izzy, who really is perfect in every way, and you also have Zato, who's pretty pure morally. He hasn't really had any
other than Massacre, somewhat plot.
No,
this one is
not even. This isn't a plot.
It does have plot at the very end, and that's what I do like when episodes have filler, but then there's something sprinkled at the end, so it's not a total pointless episode.
Yeah.
But
also, wait, a couple episodes prior, you see, I don't know which, I think it's episode 14 or 15. Void Knight takes his helmet off.
Yeah, and he
is pretty handsome, if I say so myself.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't make the wife wake up right there.
It looks like a mix of James Marsden and what's the name of the guy from Zoolander? I literally said his name earlier today.
Not Derek Zoolander, but I don't know what other guys are in other than
the main character.
Derek Zoolander.
Yeah, but the actor's name.
Shit. Night Museum. Ben Stiller.
I kept having Bill Murray in my head.
I thought you were saying Wow guy.
No, that's Owen Wilson. No, Ben Stiller and James Marsden. James Marsden's the guy from Sonic the Hedgehog movie. He's also in Hairspray.
Oh yeah, I always mix him up with
Ben Stiller.
I also mix him up with Daddy's Home, Will Ferrell and who?
Mark Wahlberg. They don't even look the same.
They're kind of like the same type of movie.
No, Mark Wahlberg's like this.
They're always like, I'm with an animal and I'm in a plot with Smurfs, or I'm with CGI. Like,
yeah, Mark Wahlberg's like, how you doing, buddy?
And also Mark Wahlberg was in another movie where he's in a car with like an animal, right? Like people made that connection with the Sonic movie.
No, that's just James Marsden. James Marsden, for some reason, has been in multiple movies where he's in a car with an animated creature.
Oh yeah, not Mark Wahlberg.
Someone said, why is this even a trope?
Yeah, with him with Sonic and like the exact same.
Him with Sonic and then him with the bunny rabbit from Hop.
The point is, Void Knight's hot. And he's trying to. All we know about him is that
he's trying to bring his lover back.
He stole armor that Zato kind of recognized, but I don't think he connects that.
Wait, we know he stole the armor?
In episode 1, he goes, "Where did you steal that armor from? It doesn't matter." And I thought he was referring to that his sword looks just like his,
gotcha.
But Zato doesn't really point that out, so I assume it's just like a copycat.
Yeah.
But it can use keys. It uses the henchman key, and that's why he's able to control henchmen. So I think we'll know more about Void Knight next season, because I don't think he's dead. How did his helmet get back?
No,
to the
he
base?
didn't. No, he didn't die. Well, I'm not convinced he died because knowing these Power Rangers series, especially like in the sequel series of the initial one, they always bring the main villain back. The main villain always gets destroyed in the end once and for all.
Yeah, it was only Ninja Steel where they actually Galvanax did die in season 1, and then they had Manamodius take over to reflect.
Yeah, but Manamodius is sick. I like Manamodius.
Yeah, I do.
As a villain.
I prefer our version, but
Maybe that's why I like Manamodius.
I like the actors more. No disrespect to the original, but
yes.
with the writing.
The makeover was just
another body swap episode.
It's an Amelia centric episode where she's trying to get Pop to sleep with this other girl, and she just tries to change him, but because they swap bodies, Zato and Amelia swap, so it's actually Zato giving Pop instructions
in Amelia's body.
Which Amelia apologizes, even though Zato as Amelia says to be himself, which I never understood why Pop didn't just go, but you told me to be myself.
Well, it's funny because the body swap doesn't really even affect that plot because the most he does is just he goes, your voice sounds different, and then kisses on the forehead, and then Zato's like,
yeah, and then you have so he like kisses her. He kisses Amelia, and then Amelia goes like just the most deadpan expression.
oh, like Kanye staring at the camera. Not much to it, but at the end, Pop-Up did discover the discovery of the cosmic Zord keys. In terms of Golden Red's backstory,
Don't care.
It's very fucking dark because like their team is dead. Like I thought they were alive because we saw the Rangers come back, but no, they were just nightmare holograms. Now the voices of them repeating the same damn lines, holy shit, was obnoxious as hell.
Yeah, it was very NPC.
But at the same time, I guess that's what it's like having like PTSD in your head about.
Yeah, dude, especially having something traumatic. Like I know I don't have PTSD, but I know people that struggle with PTSD. Replayed in your head, same feelings, same stress, same scares, like same everything. All the feelings, and it just goes over and over and over again. And that's what happened with Ion and Zato. They have the same nightmare of them having to leave the Zord, and the two of them barely escaping, except for their comrades who ended up dying. So when they find the keys, which by the way did not know they connected, I thought that was really cool. I did like that the Raptors were like, when they.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen like a black hole like attack from any like Ranger series. They steal Blue Ranger's mom's technology because Void Knight said, fuck the Sporix, I'm gonna just steal directly from the Morphin grid to power my weapon.
Oh yeah, we should probably say that in the last episode they figured out that by tapping into the Morphin grid it had enough power to recharge the Morphin because Zato used the Cosmic Key to transport to this planet where the two Zords, the Shadow and Light Zord, were hidden. And Zato goes out there, but then the key wasn't powerful enough to keep a portal, and so they connected the key to the creature, and then it realized that the Morphin grid powered it enough to make a portal big enough for Ion and the keys to go through.
And they went to the Planet Construction Site Canyon. That's
Planet Quarry. Planet Quarry.
And what's funny is that the Rangers, I mean, I know they've been dealing with Void Knight's shit for a while, and yeah, he is a threat, but they don't really have a justification. They don't have a justification for why they gotta, like, murder him and his wife.
And his lover.
Like, I really love the scene when fucking Izzy slashes it and then goes, hey, Voidy! But
yeah, that was
in terms of
that was funny.
Why they don't question what he's doing. I mean, I guess when a villain like is in the wrong, destroying the city, you don't really have to question it. But I still feel like isn't there like a fucking human in there that I just murdered? I don't know.
But I will say the one thing of that episode that really stuck out to me, other than the fact that I think it was really good for a season finale. It kind of wrapped up some loose ends, but it kept just enough to keep you like, oh, what happens next? I liked the fact that the Rangers demorphed and the mom figured out who they were. They're pretty good about hiding their identity. So I thought, even though they all wear the fucking color, yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But I appreciated the fact that even she was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, he was.
She wasn't like, you know? She was just impressed.
Blue didn't have to be dubbed over by some other guy anymore.
Better because they actually show their identity, and the mom. Well, I also appreciate the fact that the mom's a scientist, so she's not like.
The moms are really helpful for the show in general.
Yeah,
like she has
like the fact that
crazy technology.
That mom is a good asset, so it's nothing like super like taxing, you know.
I mean, like she's still more impressive than the guy that cured cancer and Venom.
I like the fact that Santa had a magic notebook. I also like the fact that the Christmas episode just wasn't another clip show, because you mentioned that. You mentioned that most of them are just clip shows. So I appreciate the fact that it was an original plot.
Yeah, with Slither.
With Slither and Mucus. So, you know, the dynamic duo is back. So I appreciated that.
And also, I like that Santa is the same actor from Dino Charge and Ninja Steel. So he's just some multi-dimensional fucking time traveling.
Well, the other thing that was cool too is to keep an essence of the clip shows. Instead of doing the actual clips, they did Secret Santas, and so everybody gave a gift to an item that was from a previous episode.
Yeah, and then I really enjoyed Slither. They used the footage of Weissel drawing himself, like stroking himself to himself, and like, "Hello, small me."
Hello, small me. Tuck and roll, tuck and.
Yeah, and then I mentioned the monsters are funny, but so I can't play the clip visual, but I can play the audio. This is what a samurai monster said when he dies. Now cut to a chicken monster, and let's see what pun he does.
Whoa! We clipped his wings.
I don't know what's the transition, but after 10 years, monsters are fucking like terrified that they're getting
Dude, that shit had me dying.
Murdered.
That moment specifically had me dying because I don't think Joe noticed it the first time. I pointed it out, and then he just was like, "I never noticed that." It was so funny.
I watch that part every time where he's getting slashed 5 times, explodes in the air, and then explodes again. And then while he's screaming for like bloody murder, the ranger's like,
we clipped his wings.
We clipped his wings. And then Weissel, Slither does it again, where it's like, "Big me, stop, drop, and roll," or whatever.
He just like, I don't know what the fuck he does. He just like falls through. I think overall as a series, I think Dino Fury is pretty good. There are definitely a few weak points, but I think overall everybody who's in the show feels like they want to be there. They're very strong in their character choices, and I think there's not really too many weak links in it compared to past seasons.
Yeah.
I would say out of all of them, I would say like the weakest links is probably just Mucus, just because I just think she's like super obnoxious compared to Slither. Like Slither's like annoying, but like in a really funny and like really fun way. Mucus is just.
She did have some jokes that made you chuckle.
Oh no, absolutely. But I think just in general, like her character is just like naive. I think if she had a little more oomph in like her power, I think she'd be a lot better as a character. I also think Pop is kind of boring as a character because only because of his vocal inflections. Like he doesn't change the way he talks, and it annoys me.
But I do like that he did bring up one point in an episode that I glossed over until I watched the second time, is that he used to work at Area 62, same where Void Knight is.
Yeah, that I did remember.
It seems like they're planting something where maybe they'll figure out what happened to Amelia's parents. Some people think it is Void Knight and the
Void Knight's lover.
Tank Girl. I don't know. I don't know. That's the only thing we got. I mean, they also did a close-up of Amelia fighting Void Knight like head on, and I don't know if that's just unintentional or they're really trying to plant something. So that's a little bit of
I definitely think they were trying to plant the seed.
Because yeah, I mean her parents disappeared in some mysterious act, and that's why she's like obsessed with the paranormal, because she has like a little bit of trauma with that. Then maybe that's why she quips. Is to cope with the humor. But yeah, for series review, it's the last 10 years have been just kind of since Disney sold the rights back to Saban. Really only ones I could say before Dino Fury that were like pretty adequate or solid were Dino Charge Season 1 and about like half of Beast Morphers. There are a lot more problems I have with Beast Morphers, and I'm trying to like not have that connected to a Sentai as a bias. Like I actually had personal issues that I've had with other seasons. But Dino Fury, no, I think as soon as it started, it's been really solid. It's been a very simple thing. It's been a great connection to others shows, and I'm really excited for Season 2. I won't go full on, thinking that Season 2 will knock it out of the park, because every Season 2 and every Super Season always drops the ball. So I'm going to go in a very neutral, but I'm still excited to see the characters again, because they got their powers back, thanks to the Green Morphin Master, and the best thing is it's off Nickelodeon. I don't have to get fucking cable. I don't have to pirate anything. I can be on Netflix and watch it in HD like a normal person that pays $10 a month for it. So.
Yeah. I think for me too, with Dino Fury especially, there's a lot of more pros that make me, like an adult, feel the need to watch it and be like, okay, there's actually something here for me.
Yeah.
Because there's that stigma that Power Rangers is for kids and it's a kids show.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, I guess, but that's the same as saying like anime is for kids. Like, it's not.
If
it's
it was
for
all
a
for
general
kids, then
audience.
they could just throw in a pile of paint smearing around and kids will laugh at it, but then adults won't. But the fact that they put any meat at all, yeah, they want to show kids some quality, but it's like saying like SpongeBob's just for kids. If you've watched the first 3 seasons, it's fucking all the adult humor is
it's
great to watch.
It
as
is
an adult.
great.
It's for everyone. It literally, there's an E in it or a TVY7 on it for a reason. Yeah, we have, as we said before, you can check out our live streams at twitch.tv/SuperUnknownPerson, and if you miss any streams, you can catch it at Substream's VOD channel.
So,
Pack Brothers, I didn't mention.
yeah. We also have a Let's Play channel. It's Passive Aggressive Gaming Brothers or Pack Bros. Currently, we are re-uploading our Sonic Forces stuff. We're finishing up Spyro 3 finally.
Finishing Crash 4.
We're finishing up Crash 4. We have Celeste coming along the way. Ed Nettie for the PS2. Spider-Man PS4.
And then the rest I'll get back to you once I have it confirmed, because I always change it.
And also, let us know in the comments. I know I know it seemed like I was just joking about a Go Busters style, like, retrospective, but I'm down to do it.
Yeah, let me know if you want to see something like that.
If you guys would want to see something like that, we could start drafting up like rough drafts. I have a lot of other ideas that we're kind of cooking and brainstorming out right now that I think you guys are really gonna love.
And lastly, you can click the 2 end screens here, assuming this video doesn't get claimed for made for kids. In that case, fuck, piss, tits, boobs.
Pussy, bitch,
die.
fuck, piss.